giving the speech to our students to enhance their knowledge in architecture. Thank you so much, Neha. Shravani, you can start your session.
Okay, ma'am. Good morning to one and all connected here today. In today's session, we have a special guest who's going to accompany us and share her knowledge about RISC architectures on Shakti processors. She's nothing but Snehashri Sivaraman. She has completed her BE in electronical and communication engineering, and she's a 2020 passed out. She's currently working as a project associate in RISC Lab, IIT Madras. I extend a hearty welcome to Snehashri. Thank you, ma'am, for joining us today.
Thank you. So, should I start screen sharing?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
So, 1 second. So, thank you all. I'm really happy to be here to present this presentation for you. So, my name is Snehashri. I'm working as a project associate in Shakti process, which is in the CSC department, IIT Madras. A fun tip, I studied EC in Meenakshi Sundarajan College. So you guys might be wondering how an EC student ended up in CSE. So I just want to give you a tip before you go ahead. You're all computer science students, I believe. So just think about your department as well as interdisciplinary topics like these, especially computer architecture, computer networking. As you develop more and more in engineering, I think it's important that you look into interdisciplinary, keep your bases straight, but as you go ahead after you finish your BE or BTech, you should remember to specify in one area as well as look at different fields that you're interested in, because that's what helped me talk about architecture in front of you all. So thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Yamuna ma'am, for this opportunity. So when she asked me what topic I wanted to do, I thought this would be the best topic to take because it's not only a topic that I usually work at every day, but also because I think it's very important for you to know about the history of computer architecture and to see why we need architecture in our day-to-day life. I didn't want to give a boring presentation about, this is the concept, this is how it works. Unless you got your basis foundation right, I don't think it would be useful for you to study the subject. So I think that finding that inspiration, finding that interest in something is important. And if I'm able to do that through this presentation, I'm very happy to do it. So it's also something that will tell you why architecture is important in our day-to-day life. And I'm also going to talk about how I'm implementing architecture in the workplace that I'm working at. So as you can see in the bottom right corner, it's the first made in a microprocessor, because you would have heard about Intel, you would have heard about ARM, you would have heard about AMD, but all of these are foreign made. They are made in US, they are made in UK. None of them are made solid in India. So any device that you take, from your Snapdragon to Qualcomm, all your devices are made, the microprocessor is made outside of India. And this one is the first, and I'm very happy to be a part of this initiative. So introduction, I wanted to start by telling you what I'm working on and also why this is important to learn about, why computer architecture comes into play here. So if you've heard about processors, if you've heard about, I'm sure you would have all heard about processors, because when you decide to choose any electronic device, say a mobile or a laptop, when you decide to buy a new one, or when you ask your friends what they have, I think the most important thing you all converse with each other is whether the speed is high, whether the memory is high, how good is the processor, how good is the capacity of the processor. So as you can see, it is almost ubiquitous. That is, it's present in almost all the machines and appliances you use today. And we have appliances for everything now, from making food, from storing food, from washing your clothes, to even education right now. I mean, you're all watching this through your laptops, so and mobiles. So it's become that important. Processors have become that important, and even now, due to COVID, it has become even more important, because what used to be a luxury, having a laptop and mobile used to be a luxury, and now it's become extremely important, because without that, not even in the villages now, they all needed to study, and education has become as important, as we all know, with shelter, food, and etc. So to get an education, we need a mobile device, or we need a laptop. So we need some kind of electronic device, and at the core of it all, the one that makes your laptops and mobiles come to life is the processor. So I think nothing else makes it more important for you to know why we're studying about computer architecture, why we're studying about anything related with a processor. So processor is not the only application of computer architecture, but the most important one. So we have custom ASICs, application-specific integrated chips, license-specific integrated chips that make the building blocks of a processor. And I think I want to start by explaining, instead of just explaining you, this is a processor, this is the components of a processor. I wanted to make it more about the current issue that we're facing in the industry. So the current issue that we're all facing, if you've not heard or you want to know about, is that the processor industry or the hardware industry is not open sourced. It cannot be customized, upgraded. So if I say I want a processor in my mobile that has a high speed and I don't care about the memory, or I want high memory and I don't care about the speed, or I want video calls to work and that's the only reason I'm buying my mobile, then I need to have a processor that will apply to my requirements, right? Or if Lenovo says that I want to build a set of computers that are amazing at gaming, and I'm sure all of you are accustomed to that, because you would have bought a laptop or mobile that is good at gaming, say for PUBG or anything else that you're playing at. You really require a processor that has enough capacity to run your graphics, to run your memory. So the more and more games you store in your laptop, you require a lot of memory to accommodate all of that. So as you can see, it is very important that we have customized processors and not just inbuilt. This is what you get. I don't care about what you want. That is the kind of situation the hardware industry was at and is still quite at. We are not able to make our processors according to our own choice, because there's two or even few large companies that dominate the industry, like Intel, ARM, and AMD. And what they say is what happens in the industry. As such, they build an extensive set of processors saying, yeah, this is good at security. You want a secure laptop, here's the processor. You want a gaming laptop, here's the processor. But what the problem arises is, you just have to take their word. You cannot ask them, you cannot question them. Hey, why are you giving me this laptop? Why are you giving me this processor? Can I look inside the processor? Should I just believe what the company is saying? Can I not look at what the code is, what the architecture is? They say no. This is the architecture, this is the processor, you take it or leave it. That's how the Intel and ARM and AMD stay relevant in the industry. That's how they earn money, by completely licensing and completely close-setting what is inside a processor. They have strict NDAs, so even people working in Intel and ARM, they know only what happens in their part of the processor. They work in graphics, that's all they know about. They don't know what's happening in the memory. So every single thing is licensed, every single thing is blocked away, even from the employees themselves. So you can imagine how the consumers, how the vendors of the semiconductor chips will be at. And it's also important to know that there is no flexibility here, there is no open source here, and that is the biggest problem. So the biggest revolution that is required in the hardware industry right now is the revolution to open source hardware. I'm sure you all have already done a few subjects in C, C++, Python, and you're quite familiar with software programming. You would have done labs in it. You would have done OOPS programming because you're at advanced computer architecture. So I'm going to assume that you have good exposure to software. So if you see the software community, they have already done this. They have already gone to open source products. So now anybody can go and create a program, can sit in a company and say, yes, I can do something different and still earn money. There's a lot of freelance software programmers right now. There's a lot of open source products. Not everybody is selling their software code for money, but most of them are just working for the welfare of the community. I mean, I just recently saw that through Telegram, there is a Python program that takes the COVID website and tells you, alerts you how many slots are available for in which area of city, the sector of the city, what vaccine is available, how many slots of which dose is available, and all this through just a program. And this is done for free. This is not sold to anybody. This is done through the public API, and it is great that they're able to do that because the only reason I think they're able to do that is there's no license on COVID. There's no license on Python. It's not that the only Python community can code their products. That is the problem we face in hardware. We're not able to have our own set of processors. We're not able to collaborate with academic minds. We're not able to use our intelligence about computer architecture and about VLSI and create our own set of customized processors. So this to eradicate this problem, Shakti, an open source initiative by IIT Madras, was created back in 2014. And this only reason that this was created was to build such an open source system, not only one processor, but a set of processors that were capable of handling I-class, were capable of handling embedded programs, were capable of handling IoT, which is also an up and coming industry. So it was also an initiative that was created only to create customized production grade processors. So you can use it in your laptops as well as completely open source. So if Shakti tells you this is what our processor can do, anybody can question them. Anybody can look at the code and say, yes, this is what is there inside my processor. And Shakti is saying the right thing. It is good at memory, it is good at speed, it is good at gaming. So all the requirements that I want is there in this process. So I don't just have to take their word. I can actually look at it and say, yes, this is happening. And there's no license, there's no NDA. And more on this I will be covering